Welcome to REI Pro Talk, where real estate investors turn for the latest news, tips, and tricks from the real in the trenches pros. Tune in to hear Chris Goff, the nation's premier real estate investing powerhouse. Join up with other top pros in the investing world as they cover every topic. No fluff, no filler, no holds barred. All you need to know from start to paycheck.
Well, how y'all doing?
Oh, we can't complain, man.
Doing well. What you got?
I wanted to find out about subject to like find a pre-foreclosure, somebody that owes the bank a lot of money, 20, 30, 15,000, and they're probably about to get put out, and maybe I make a deal with them and pay what they owe the bank and maybe give them some money for their self, and I keep the mortgage in their name for 4 or 5 years, and then it switches to my name or something like that.
You want to know how to learn about it?
No, I want to do it in Florida.
Well, you got to learn about it first, because when you put up that kind of money, we're going to get the deed first. But if you go to, I don't know if you can see the screen, but in the main menu, if you go to the education and we click on the tab at the top, pre-foreclosures, if you go through this, I mean, we have numerous episodes here to go through. It's going to walk you through that entire process. This is going to get bigger and bigger as the year goes on and continuing into next year as well. So I would definitely encourage everybody to learn more about this. This training right here, I could charge $1,000 easy, done it all day long. And you guys have access to this information that's included. So definitely encourage you to do that. You could also wholesale a pre-foreclosure as well. And we have, if you go into our wholesaling, you will find that here. We probably have close to 700,000 views just on this particular one video. I did it years ago, and I think now people have kind of, hey, I'm going to put a video out there on this stuff too. So, but you'll learn there's a lot of moving parts with pre-foreclosures. A lot of people don't work the business because of that. But when you learn how to do this business, it's going to set not just you, but everybody apart from all other investors. It's a very rewarding business, but you've got to learn there's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah, because I was figuring, because I want to do it down in Hollywood Beach, Florida area, Fort Lauderdale, Cooper City, around those areas. I want to be able to find something that I can get into. Maybe it might need some work or something, but how do you feel about when I find the addresses, me going by their house and knocking on their door?
Oh, no, you got to be careful about that one. So,
I know some people who have done
I know people do it, but man, I don't know who's on the other side of the door.
Yeah, because they could be stressed out. They could be upset. Yeah, so I was thinking about that.
Obviously, direct mail is going to be the best way to do it. It could be a postcard, a letter, or and also doing a letter that goes inside a UPS or USPS would be cheaper priority envelope, because they're definitely going to order it. But one of the main things I want to do when I think of pre-foreclosures, number one, is I've got to work with properties that have some equity. Right. Number one. I also look at future auction dates only because I want to know what's coming up. There's a lot of people that have been in pre-foreclosure that auction dates haven't been set, so they're never recorded, and you never know. There's still potential deals, but I want to go in and say, hey, I'll just use a minimum 20% equity. I know now that I took that list down to 102 just based on those two filters. Now I can, if I don't want to me, price point is almost irrelevant in this business, because if I'm used to working with properties, let's say in the $500,000 range, and if you're the investor that works less than that, it doesn't matter. I could work with $1 million property or $5 million property. The only difference with the higher priced properties is generally the back payment's going to be a little bit more. and your pool of buyers that you're going to sell it to is a little bit less.
Yeah,
So
but what if I'm not trying to sell it? What if I want to keep it for myself?
well, you could keep it yourself. I always recommend get rid of it, because once the deed transfers, there's always the due on sale clause. I mean, it's not normal for a bank to call the loan due when they're calling it due now. And then you make up, bring the loan current with the back payments. It's very unlikely that they call it back due again. But this is also a way for you to find properties for yourself.
Yeah, because that's what I want to do, because I want to live on the ocean. I want to find a property for myself first and then start doing it as a business with the rest of the properties.
You could do it, but just keep in mind down the road, I would refinance it at some point just to get it out. Because keep in mind, the loan is still going to be in the previous owner's name.
Right.
And the sooner we can get that out of their name, I think it just makes everybody feel better.
So you now refinancing it to my name, they're going to want to see the same income to qualify for that house. But if I paid the back payments and I was paying it for 2 years,
they don't
in the
care.
other person's name,
yeah, it doesn't matter.
They're still going to want me to have the income to pay that.
Right. In the future, it could be 5 years from now, try to refinance it, or you might find another property to move it to. You just sell the thing, be done with it. I think my point is that we really want to get it out of these owners' name, the loan out of their name as soon as you possibly can. In most cases, for most people, they're going to turn the property around. It's going to be sold within a few months. If you're looking for a property personally, it could be 5 years. But yeah, you don't have to, you're not going to be qualifying for these loans.
Right.
The loan's already in place. You're just bringing the loan current and then making the payments on the property. So yeah, and a lease option, you could do the exact same thing. It's just usually a shorter term and you don't own it. Where when you work with pre-foreclosures, you're actually working the seller financing strategy. So you're going to actually get the deed. So you're going to own it, but the loan's still going to be in the owner's name. So you just got to keep that loan current. Otherwise, they'll foreclose back on the owner again, unfortunately.
But me keeping it current and the bank seeing that I've been paying for it for 5 years, they're still going to want me to do the whole process like I'm buying a house.
They don't care. Most of the banks,
I think what he's talking about, Chris, is he goes to apply for the loan. They're going to want to see that, he's been making payments to this bank for a loan that's not even in his name. So he's not really going to get credit for his.
You're not going to get
credit. not for making
the payments. No,
to paying somebody else's. They're not even going to see that on your credit report because it's not on there.
Right.
But I can turn around and sell that home and make a lot of money off of it though, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the whole goal.
And now looking for equity in that property, are you saying that if the house is $600,000 and what would be good equity that I should be looking for? Because I figure the higher the equity, the harder to take the loan from the person whose name it is.
No, because they're going to lose the house regardless.
Right.
They may talk to you like, no, I've got equity in the house. Well, you could structure the deal where you give them a little bit of money at the same time. Right. And if it's a property with a bunch of equity, I'm going to put some money into it and I'm going to flip the house. I'm going to sell it to somebody that actually wants to live in it and get a loan on it. When I do that, I can give the owner partial profit. You could structure that however you and the owner see fit.
Okay.
Which is the beautiful thing. But there's nothing set in stone that we don't have to set up the deal to where the owner can actually take some of that equity out. But here's the important part is that keep in mind, it doesn't matter how much equity somebody has in a house because they're getting ready to lose everything. It's going to damage their credit report. And if they go through a short sale, they're going to damage their credit report for up to 2 years. If they go through to the auction, it's going to be damaged for 7 years. They'd be lucky to even pass a rental application when they move. So what you're doing is actually bringing the loan current, which takes them out of that process. They're going to love you for that.
Right.
If you have that owner that's like, well, no, if I'm going to let you do this, I need some money. All right. How much money you need? Let's structure it. Let's make it a win-win.
Because if I find a condo on the beach that might be 600 grand and the owner has, say, 400 grand into it already, but he's
Mhm.
about to lose it. Now that house is 600 grand. That's what they say it's worth, but it probably can sell because houses are so much more now. It probably can sell for 750. So I can bring the loan current, sell it for 750, and give him his money that he put into it, his 400 grand, and be like, here, take your 400 grand. I'm keeping the other three.
If it can sell for 750, you sell it for whatever you could sell it for.
And give him whatever he put into it, and I keep the other three and keep doing that till I can go buy one cash or something.
Yeah, to me, that would be a home run deal. I don't want to set the expectation that that's going to be
Yeah, I know.
normal.
Yeah, I know it's a
So
hard thing because if it was an easy thing, everybody would be doing. So I know
that's
it's a
right. That's why I
yeah,
say about real estate investing. Everybody's like, "Oh, it can't be that easy," blah blah blah. But it happens every single day. I had a student in the Bronx, Bo, that did this with a condo,
Mhm.
and the loan balance, I believe, was like 600 or 750, and we went in and actually made up the back payments. He put 200 grand into, it's like a 2-2, you know, and he sold it for like $1.3 million.
man.
So you structure the deal that makes it a win-win for you and the owner.
And do I get a lawyer or a title company to do this with me, or
I always have an attorney drop all the paperwork, and I prefer to find an attorney that also does real estate closings. Now, every title company has an attorney, but it's not a normal transaction that's going to happen in a title company.
you
People are going
find
to be like, "What are you doing?"
okay. So
So
it's best to
use
find
the, yeah, always
yeah,
go. You're going to have to invest into getting that attorney to draft up the paperwork every single time, because no matter what, the attorney has to, by law, print up the deed at minimum. But I want the deal right. I don't want some shady investor that goes, hey, we'll just throw this in the contract. I want to make sure that it's legit.
right.
And there's too many people that could, when you get this knowledge, when people go through there, people don't understand. You take this knowledge, some people will go do bad things with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just got this knowledge maybe 3 months ago, and I was like, this is amazing. My friend told me about it, and because I told him I can afford to make payments
Yeah.
on a house on the beach, a condo on the beach, but I can't get it financed in my name. He said, take this website. And he gave me your website. And he said, because he know I'm a guy that's smart and witty. He said, once you take this website, you'll be good to go. And he just gave me this website, and I just been following and doing things with it. And it's just amazing the things that can go. I was like, this is amazing.
It is a pretty cool business, I would tell you. Um,
Yeah, I'm looking at Florida because that's where I'm moving to next summer. And Florida is a place that has a lot of foreclosures.
well,
So
especially if you're going down to Broward County, you're going to find a lot more.
right, that's why I figure I'll have a better chance of getting this to work for me because there's so many of them down there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of investors down there, but a lot of people don't know how to work with people in this specific situation.
Okay.
So keep that in
And
mind.
you said I should, what was it now? Can you show me that thing one more time before we get off? You said I should look for on the website, what, no future, or click where at the beginning you had said like no
Yeah,
future.
so click filters right here,
Mhm.
and then you could take all this other stuff out, especially if you're just looking for a condo, but I just kept everything in there. You're going to see the auction date. I clicked future only,
Mhm.
and then I go to potential equity right here. And you can put in whatever you want, but I also know there's going to be a lot of properties out there that are not distressed, even though they're in pre-foreclosure. They're in really good shape. So you don't really need a ton of equity. You just got to make sure the numbers work, obviously, no matter what you do. I
Right.
just put in 20% there. And then you could go through these filters a little bit more to be a little bit more picky on what you're looking for as far as beds, baths, and all that stuff, and then just hit apply. And when I did that, drop that list down to 102 here that could be potential. Now, if you're only looking beach, I could then take my map and actually zoom in a little bit and say, okay, what properties are actually on the beach or close to the beach?
Right.
And then, you know, I'm not saying all these properties are, but you could take the draw tool there and just say, okay, now I'm down to 15. So, but you can pull these up and see exactly, you know, like this particular property is on the water. So, but anyways, you know, get in and learn about it. Tell everyone to go to the education side of it and start understanding that process and how to do this business. So, but thanks for coming on board, and thanks for the question.
Okay, and I can come into more meetings and still get more questions as I go along, right?
Every single time we do this.
Okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to REI Pro Talk. If you've ever wanted to jump into the real estate game, get started with the #1 software for real estate investors on the planet, REI Pro. Start for free at www.myreipro.com.